Hello dear student, myself Kanchan Vishramji Kumbalkar, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry of Sri Shivaji College of Arts, Commerce and Science Akola. This is my 5th lecture on non-aqueous solvent, which is a part of MSc first year, Same 1, Paper 1, 4th unit. This is the overall syllabus and highlighted topics are completed. Let's start with today's topic, that is molten salt as a non-aqueous solvent. The molten salts which act as non-aqueous solvent can be divided into two categories. First one is the high temperature molten salt and second one is the room temperature molten salt. Now, high temperature molten salt, let's check out about the high temperature molten salt. This category contains melts of compound containing mainly ionic bonds, for example, alkali halides. The coordination number of ions drop from 6 in solid to the 4 in their melts. Means after melting, the coordination number of the compound which is present in solid phase, that is 6, and in a melted form it is 4. The long range lattice symmetry is destroyed in the molten state of such salt, but the short range destroyed in a molten state. Means in this case, the long range lattice symmetry is destroyed in the molten state of such salt, but the short range symmetry around the ion still exists, it does not get destroyed. Ionic compounds can be dissolved in such melts, giving rise to highly conducting solutions. The cryoscopic techniques can be applied to determine the number of ions of the solute. For example, the number of ions of Kf in molten sodium chloride is 2 and of BaF3 are 3, because the Kf get dissociated into K positive and F negative, and BaF2 gets dissociated into Ba2 positive and 2 molecules of F negative. Hence, in Kf there are 2 ions and in BaF2 there are 1, and this 2 means total equal to 3, that is 3 ions has been formed. But the number of ions of NaF in molten NaCl come out to be 1 by the cryoscopic method, because the Na positive ion of solute is common with the Na positive ion of the molten NaCl solvent. If we are considering, if in this case there is the common ion effect has been there, NaF generate a Na positive and F negative, NaCl generate a Na positive and Cl negative. So, the number of ions of NaF is only counted by cryoscopic method, that is 1, because Na positive of this NaF is common with this molten NaCl. Hence, the count of ions for a NaF in a molten NaCl is counted to be 1. So another type of molten salt is melts of covalent bonded compound, although some autoionization may occur in such compound also. The example is autoionization of molten salt. Let's check out, that is HgX2 get autoionized into HgX positive and HgX3 negative. So this metal halides get converted into the cation and anion by means of autoionization. The cation and anion. Thus, any substance which increase the concentration of HgX positive behaves as an acid, and any substance which increase the concentration of HgX3 negative behaves as an base. So let's check out the another example. This is the other example, that is when HgClO4 by 2 reacts with that in presence of HgX2, there is a formation of 2 molecule of HgX positive with a formation of 2 molecule of ClO4 negative. Means on the basis of the principle, the species which generate cation is act as an acid and which generate negative anion act as a base. Another example is that Kx. When Kx react with that of the in presence of HgX2, this is the molten salt, this is the melted salt, this is act as a solvent. In presence of this, the Kx generate a K positive with a cation, K positive cation and this anion, and formation of anion from that of the solvent indicate that this compound act as a base. Now in this case, when this compound react with the Kx, obviously there is a formation of HgX positive and HgX3 negative, and they combinedly form a HgX2, and this procedure is known as the neutralization, because according to this definition, formation of cation, this compound is acid. Formation of anion, this compound is base. And when acid and base react, we know that that reaction is known as the neutralization, and it generates a salt and the solvent. This is your salt and here your solvent. So this procedure is known as the neutralization. What is the definition of neutralization? When acid reacts with base in presence, then there is a formation of salt and formation of solvent. This is the characterization of neutralization. Next one, the another type is that room temperature molten salt. The room temperature molten salt, for example, some chloroaluminate such as the RnC5H5 plus, this is your cation, and AlCl4 negative. This is also compound where the positivity negativity has been balanced with each other, are liquid at room temperature. This chloroaluminated compound is liquid at room temperature and can be used as a solvent for many ionic compound. But a serious limitation of such liquid, that is chloroaluminate solvent, is that they are highly hygroscopic and hydrolyzed readily. There are two types, hydroscopic and hygroscopic. So it is very attractive toward the ions. So it's a hygroscopic and hydrolyzed easily. The hydrolyzed chloroaluminate may further react with the dissolved salt to produce their oxides product. For example, AlCl4 negative combines with that of the water because it is a hydroscopic, and there is a formation of AlCl2O negative with a liberation of 2 molecule of HCl. It get further react with that of the salt of metal, and there is a formation of oxides of metal. So however, the oxygen of the oxide product can be quantitatively removed. The oxygen has been introduced in a previous reaction by means of the room temperature molten salt, which is not a feasible. That can be easily removed by using, product can be quantitatively removed by passing a phosgene into solution of the salt in a chloroaluminate melt. So at the last, the targeted product has been formed. So one more example, another salt which is liquid at room temperature is obtained by reacting Et2NH3 positive Cl negative. What is Et? Et is the ethyl group, C2H5. So this is the Et2NH3 by Et2NH3 plus Cl negative with CuCl. So by this method, that is Et2NH positive Cl negative, okay, the 3 is not there. So plus CuCl, there is a formation of NH positive, CuCl 2 negative, and combination with this complex with again the same starting reactant gives the monoanion get converted into dianion, and finally the dianion reacts with that of the CuCl and formation of the final product, that is Et2NHCu2Cl3 2 by negative charge. So these are the another salt which is act as a room temperature melt solvent. The low melting point of the product obtained by the above reaction is due to the presence of mixture of salts such as EtNH2CuCl2 negative and EtNHCu2Cl2 negative in the product. This solvent can be easily reduced and can also be easily oxidized. So CuCl negative, there is an acceptance of electron, so this is known as the reduction, and there is a loss of electron, this is known as the oxidation. So by simple method the reduction and oxidation can be done by using this solvent. So focus on the application. Therefore, the species which are even mildly oxidized or mildly reduced cannot be studied in this solvent. The species which simply by simple force, if it get oxidized or it get reduced, then it is not able to study under this solvent. Moreover, all reaction to be studied in this solvent have to be carried out in the absence of air. So these are the some drawbacks, that is some selected elements can be studied by using this melted solvent. Next one is the utility of molten salt as a solvent. The first utility is that the highly reacting solutes which cannot be studied in a reactive solvent can be studied in a molten salt. For example, halogens which cannot be studied in water, which are highly reactive, so it can be conveniently studied in a molten halide. The molten salt having a disadvantages as well as advantages also. So this is the first advantage, that the highly reactive like halides, they are not eligible to be studied in water as a solvent, then conveniently that has been used or that can be studied under in a molten halides. Next one, the molten halides are used for the production of halogen. This is the example by means of electrolysis. What is electrolysis? By applying electron, the lysis takes place, mean the breakdown of the species. By applying electric current, the Na positive separate out and Cl negative separate out, and which further get converted into the, by gaining electron and losing electron by redox reaction, there is a formation of Na metal in a solid phase and chlorine as a gas. This is the electrolysis method by using a molten condition, that is molten NaCl, that is molten metal halides are generates a halogen by this method. So by this method you can form a molten metal halides to a halide gases. So this is the second utility application. Third application is that the molten salt are used in metallurgy to remove silica as slag, which is in molten state at the temperature required for the extraction of metal. Now we know that in metallurgy the metal extraction takes place. We have to remove a metal in a solid phase from that of the muddy part of that of the earth. So for that purpose we have to use some metallic solvent. So in this case the silica as a slag has been used, which combine with the calcium oxide, and there is a formation of silicate slag. This is the impurity present in the earthy material. When the flux has been read, there are various types: flux, gangue, slag. So these are the metallurgical term. the metal has been extracted from that of the earthy part. The metal is present in a impurest and ionic form, but we have to convert it into a metallic form and purest form. For that purpose, the metallurgical methods has been done. So in this case, for the purpose of molten salt are used in metallurgy to remove silica as a slag. We have to remove this silicate in the presence of silicate by using a molten salt like this. So the metal extraction can be done. This is the calcium oxide. From this we have to remove or extract the calcium. So for that purpose the impurities can be removed. For that purpose there is some metal molten salt has been introduced, and on the behalf of this the metallurgy has been used a more pure step by step metal. There are lots of steps in metallurgy. Next one is the fourth application is that molten alkali metals halides. The molten alkali metals halide can be used or dissolve any amount of corresponding alkali. So the molten alkali metals halides can dissolve any amount of the corresponding alkali metals. However, the molten halides of zinc, cadmium, Hg dissolve the corresponding metal to a small extent. Means Hg dissolve in HgCl2, Zn dissolve in ZnCl2, Cd dissolve in CdCl2. So it has been dissolved in a particular metal in a small extent. It is assumed that the metal dissolved in metal halides loses electron so that the solution become reducing. That is why the cadmium and Hg reduce a part of molten HgCl2 and CdCl2. Means when Hg dissolve in HgCl2 there is a formation of Hg2Cl2. This is also the another example or the most application that this chemical cannot be prepared easily, but by this method, by using a malted format salt, then there is a generation of Hg2Cl2 and Cd2Cl2. Next, fifth application is that the molten salt provide a medium in which the concentration of ionic ligands can be much more than in possible in their aqueous solution. So it has been given that the ionic ligand can be more in its aqueous solution rather than in aqueous solution in a molten salt state. So for example, the chromium CrCl6 by 3 negative or TiCl6 by 3 negative, which cannot be isolated from aqueous solution, and these species are, because these species are hydrolyzed. If we want to prepare a CrCl6 3 negative and TiCl6 3 negative, it is exist in a very minute quantity in aqueous solution, so it is not a very good possible method to isolate from aqueous solution. So these, because they get hydrolyzed, but this species can be easily prepared by using a molten metal chlorides as a solvent medium. So this CrCl, when recombined with the molten salt of chloride, there is a formation of a targeted complex, and there is no hydrolysis by this method. So by using a aqueous condition, the compound get formed, but it get further hydrolyzed. In both cases, if we are using a aqueous solvent, then the compound form, but it readily get hydrolyzed, immediately get converted into a hydrolyzed compound. Means the targeted product is not remain constant, and hence by altering this method with a molten salt method, rather than by using a aqueous solvent, we are using here a chloride molten salt or molten metal chlorides as a solvent. Then the stability of CrCl6 or the complex has been formed, and it further does not get hydrolyzed because there is no any molecule of hydra or water is not exist here. So this is the fifth application or utility of that of the molten salt, and this is the last point of molten salt. So this is all about the second non-aqueous solvent, that is molten salts. In the next lecture we will start with that of the liquid bromine trifluoride, that is liquid BrF3. It is an interhalogen compound. In this case both the halogens are exist. So in next lecture we will see it. So up till then, take care, stay safe, be safe. Thank you very much.